Hey, welcome to Ground Zero Salem. It's Pat. I thought I'd try something a little different, bite off of a couple of well-known YouTubers and do one of these in the car videos. So I'll be your secular, out-of-shape Scott Waters today, slash sexy boy Shawn Michaels clone, all this sick woodleaf I got going. Talk about what I've been listening to in the whip. My 2002 Subaru. I'm fortunate enough to have a tape deck and a CD player here. So I got some new stuff and a box of summer jams. I don't know if I'll get into everything. I want to keep this relatively short. Playing right now is Afflicted's Prodigal Son. This is some really underrated fucking Swedish death metal. I was inspired to buy this from fellow YouTubers Ben Smasher's video a couple videos back. He talked about a lot of proto-death and death metal into the mid-90s. Lots and lots of great stuff, and I forgot that I needed this. So I snatched it up on Amazon there for a reasonable price. And this is so good. It recorded by Skogsberg, I believe it's Sunlight. It's got a lot of trappings of your typical Swedish death metal, but oh so much more. There's a ton more going on rhythmically than a lot of bands of this ilk. There's weird groove-ish, stonerish flourishes here and there. A little touch of psychedelia. A lot of it, the riffs kind of remind me of Amorphous' first two albums when they were still death metal. It is so good. So many jams. And, I mean, look at the guys on the back. I don't know if you can see it from the guy in the middle, but they're like one bullet belt away from being the fucking Spin Doctors, man. Fucking great fashion. Looking great. Next up are a couple of hot items I noticed the kids are into. Picked up this Perverted Ceremony cassette. It's great. It is, you know, I hear Goat Lord and the Harrod comparisons. Not really. I mean, the recording quality and the rawness for sure, but there's definitely more in the way of like songs, songwriting, melodies. It's very barometric. That's a synonym for atmospheric. I figured everybody kind of overuses that word, so I looked it up. But yeah, super raw and good. Some good catchy, almost melodic parts here and there. I also snagged up this Black Celice that all the kids are going nuts for. I believe it's a one-man Portuguese project, according to something I saw. I don't listen to a lot of stuff like this kind of black metal. Again, very barometric. It's really something. I mean, the vocals are just echoing shrieks in the background. It's just got this great ominous vibe to it. Super just otherworldly. Just wonderful stuff. I can certainly see what the hype is about. I'd say the hype is real. And then I made brief mention of these guys when I was talking about Warhorse, my last update. Benthic Realm from Worcester. Some ex-Warhorse members doing way more, less crushing, heavy, but still very heavy. I'd say 80s style traditional doom, kinda. I'm thinking like Pentagram and Trouble and St. Vitus, maybe along those lines. Not really directly ripping any of that stuff, but you know, that kind of 70s hard rock, Sabbathy kind of stuff through an 80s filter in a 2000 teens context, I guess. But yeah, this is super good. I recommend you tracking this down if you're a doom head. I got a bunch of other shit that I've shown and talked about. Morbus Kron. I ranted and raved about that. Sacrificial Blood, Craven Idol. A lot of stuff that I already reviewed on the channel. I try not to double dip, as you know. Speaking of stuff that I thought I needed to check out, just because everybody and their mother is losing their stuff over it, is I don't know if we can even see this. It's the new Necrot, and on Tank Crimes, and it's great. It deserves the hype as well. You know, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, no wheel reinventing there. But I mean, it's just really solid, well-written death metal. There is a lot of riff building, not just going from one riff to the next, but variations on the same riff, which I really like. Great growls, great death metal vocals. Strikes me as somewhere in between early Swedish and early American death metal. There's a lot of kind of Swedish style riffing and parts like that, but there's also like those kind of Cannibal Corpse trill riffs, if you know what I mean. Like those weird kind of Cannibal Corpse-y licks from the Barnes era. More great death metal. This was a classic I needed to pick up, and I just had to have. I have both of the albums on vinyl. It's Sinister, first two, Diabolical Summonings and Diabolical Summoning single, and Cross the Sticks. And I mean, this is Dutch stuff, early 90s. So fucking good, man. Like, if you haven't fucked with Sinister and you like death metal, hop on that shit soon. Cross the Sticks is super tight, super clean, well produced, brutal for its day, with a U, not the two O's. Death metal, good growly vocals, a lot of thrash-based riffs that are sent into hyperdrive, a lot of quick riff changes. Diabolical Summoning almost seems like a European take on some stuff that was happening in America and Canada, I guess. If you dig like early like the first Cryptopsy record and Effigy by Suffocation, it's kind of like that, but with its own kind of Dutch flair, whatever that means, I'm not sure. But yeah, fucking really, really awesome. This was one of those buys on Amazon where it was a buy it now Prime deal, and I saw it up there for a while, and it disappeared because the copies on Prime sold out, and then it's like, oh, back in stock for $3 more. Fucks with that. Totally worth it, though. What else do I have here? Oh, something I haven't shown. Best of Amon Duel. Great spacey, kind of psychedelic, kind of progressive rock from the 70s. This is one of those really uneven best ofs, though, where like the first three quarters is like their classic material. That's great, and then later on, they get into later in their career, I think into the 80s maybe, and it just kind of drops off in quality. But Amon Duel's sick. You know, if you're in the mood for something a little bit mellower, that's a good place to go. And then I got this box. This is my box of tapes. I stocked it with a lot of summer kind of stuff and not so heavy shit. I've been mostly listening to heavy stuff lately, but, you know, in case I feel like busting out something a little bit more melodic, I've got that, as well as some heavy stuff too. I went to the Salem record store, Salem Record Exchange, and bought a shit ton of tapes for cheap not that long ago. Got this Metalworks Judas Priest 2-cassette comp there. This is dope as fuck. It's everything from the very beginning up until Painkiller era, and it's all stocked with the best songs. I mean, Screaming, You Got Another Thing Coming, Beyond the Realms of Death, Living After Midnight, of course, Freewheel Burning, Sinner, Breaking the Law, no brainer there. Turbo Lover, which I like that song. You know, Turbo's got some jams, I don't care. Ram It Down, Victim of Changes, Painkiller. Painkiller gets me every fucking time. Goosebumps, I don't know about you. Hellion Electric Eye, you get the idea. Great best of. I find best ofs are awesome for the car. And speaking of best ofs, where is it? I'm gonna dig for a second here. Well, here's kind of not what I had in mind. I don't see it right now, but this is more or less a live best of. Circle Jerks gig. Pretty much everything great that they did in the 80s, played live, recorded excellently, with funny-ass Keith Morris stage banter, where he says, "No fist, broham, no fists," at the end. I think it's just made up on the spot. Oop, there it goes. Made up on the spot mouth jazz that he does during the Meet the Joneses song is pretty great too, Mrs. Jones. Some more punk in there. We got Vandals, Peace Through Vandalism. The only record I like by this band. Just great snotty Orange County hardcore from the early 80s. This is what I was looking for. Ramones Mania. If you need just a quick, compact, fucking every great song by the Ramones during the highlight of their career, up to Pet Sematary, I believe, this is the jam to throw on when you're driving to the beach or wherever you're going. Got some early NoFX. This is when they were more of a thrashy, kind of sloppy, kind of some solos and a little bit of metal in there. I mean, they always had that, even mixed in with the super surfy pop stuff later, but I love this record, this early NoFX Maximum Rock and Roll stuff. They hate it, apparently. Got a cassette copy of Morbid Vision's Bestial Devastation. This is on RC. Fucking great. Great old RC with a lightning bolt thing there. Super good. I mean, you know. Sepultura when they're still primal, basically early death metal type of shit. I got the Peace Through Chemistry comp. Alchemy Records. There was some great stuff on Alchemy Records back in the day. Go with the heavy hitters on here. The Melvins, Poison Idea, RKL, Rich Kids on LSD, Neurosis, early Pain of Mind era Neurosis, Virulence, who were pre-Fu Manchu, who were like real sludgy hardcore, I guess, like heavy hardcore, like in the vein of sort of like Blast and early Neurosis and stuff like that. Even a little bit like early Melvins. They were awesome. Sacrilege BC, who I'd never really listened to before, because I was always like, oh, Sacrilege UK, come on. But yeah, awesome thrash from them. Now I need more, now that I've had this for a little while. I also have this twisted piece of mind-bending art right here. Upside Down Cross. I think Ben mentioned this on the last commentary on the last video. This is some really twisted, sludgy punk, dare I say even stonery, my maligned stonery kind of sound that I'm so picky about. This came out on Tang, and before it was cool, like with this new cassette trend that's been popping up, Tang put a lot of shit on weird colored tapes. I had like a black Slapshot tape back in the day, a blue Poison Idea tape. This is on red. And I'll actually bother to pull this one out and show you guys because it's cool. There's not much in the J card, but yeah, they're all like looking like Jesus and stuff. So that's cool. What else do we have in here? Oh, Yardbird studio sessions. Bunch of random Yardbirds recordings. I just have so many fond memories of the song For Your Love and how we used to play it at the local greasy spoon we all used to eat at in Syracuse called Cosmos, which is no longer with us. It's a great song. My friend Chuck pointed out the first like real heavy breakdown, like almost hardcore breakdown, is in that right before the chorus of For Your Love. But yeah, it's great. Classic British Invasion stuff. Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, when he was still a tolerable human being, maybe. GBH, No Survivors and Sick Boys. Leather Bristles, No Survivors and Sick Boys, rather. On Combat. Fucking my favorite GBH record, just unrelenting, pissed, pogo-inducing British punk. Great stuff. On Combat and Clay. Clay, who also put out Discharge, of course. Fucking awesome. Got another NoFX tape in there. Don't really want to show it. I got a Bad Religion. How Could Hell Be Any Worse? A couple albums later, it was How Could This Band Be Any Worse? This Polish knockoff bootleg of Pungent Stens. For God, Your Soul, for Me, Your Flesh. If I'm stumbling over my words and slurring, I'm not drunk. I just worked a 12-hour shift. Got inspired to do this video, and I'm just trying to bang it out real quick. But yeah, grinding, slower, more groove-laden, occasional bursts of speed, perverted, weird, Austrian death metal, mandatory early shit. This is so goddamn expensive on CD and vinyl now, and even at real cassette, official cassette. So I picked this up for like $5. It sounds okay. Could sound better, but no major complaints. Crucified Mortals, Hymns of the Dead Choir, Psalms of the Dead Choir, sorry. This is, whatever that was. I lost it forever. Little insert, totally gone. Fucking on the Great Head Split Records, one of my favorite cassette labels there. I think this came out on the cusp of last year and this year, if memory serves. One of my favorite thrash records of recent years. Just super brutal, deep vocals, not really death metal growls, very enunciated. Killer riffs. A lot of Primo Slayer influence. Demolition Hammer. Stuff like Desultory, that kind of shit. Real great if you haven't heard it. I think they're wicked underrated. Pestilence. Malleus Maleficarum. Maleficarum. I'm gonna edit the shit out of that. Great tape. Listened to it a lot on the way to go see Obituary and Creator when I went with John a month or so ago. It's on RC as well. Different RC logo. For those of you who care, which is probably none. Got the Stop the Madness anti-drug thing there. Great Dutch, still thrash. This is definitely the heavier side of thrash. It's before Martin Van Druren started growling more. A little clearer, higher pitched vocals. Very good though. A lot less technical than what they became. But I think this is also underrated. It's a great record. Consuming Impulse rules too, of course. But what else we got in here? Alice Cooper, Killer. Mandatory Stuff. Under My Wheels is one of my favorite rock and roll songs. That's awesome. T-Rex, Warrior, Electric Warrior. Just getting into T-Rex, so I figured this would be the one that I should pick up. Of course, great songs on here. Bang a Gong, Get It On, Life's a Gas. Like that for a couple of spins. Haven't been in the mood for 70s rock really lately. It's all been about the heavy stuff, but you gotta have some stuff on hand. One of my favorite bands of all time, DRI, the Dirty Rotten LP. I think my neighbor thinks I'm nuts. He's probably gonna call the cops on me. Get out of here before that happens. Hyper fast hardcore, the fastest thing that was around at the time, if you don't know. Big influence on Slayer. Awesome mandatory shit before they went metal. They were playing hardcore that was more intense than most metal bands. And anything else I really want to talk about in here? Oh yeah, gotta have Integrity Systems Overload. I think they get written off as some kind of jock tough guy band by a lot of people that aren't in the know. This is on a black cassette. This to me sounds more like a mix of, yeah, a little bit of New York Judge Cro-Mag stuff, but fused with like a D-beat band and Slayer. I fucking love Integrity, and this is my favorite record by them. Just paint peeling, shredding shit. I'm not even gonna say the name. You know. Another Alice Cooper tape. And Scorpions in Trance, my favorite Scorpions record. Top track being Robot Man. That always just gets me going. Great stuff. And what the hell? Bad Religion Suffer too. This is it for me. That's my cutoff point. But man, this tape is not. I am the second owner, and you can tell it's well loved because the wow and flutter on this thing is like crazy. I'm sure that was played into the ground for a reason. Insanely catchy melodic hardcore. Before they ruined everything. Maybe not really. Broken Bones, Bone Crusher. This is on Combat Core, subsidiary of Combat that put out hardcore and punk and crossover stuff. Bones, guitarist, was in Discharge, and this is great UK crossover thrash stuff, which had a different sort of more driving Motorhead thing, I feel. These guys and English Dogs and a few others that aren't coming to mind. Sacrilege. way more of like a charging thing as opposed to like more choppy riffs and extreme tempo changes like SOD and Cryptic Slaughter had. Great mean stuff. Definitely worth scoping out. Alright, well that's it. Thanks for subbing, thanks for watching. I'm starving and tired. Hope you enjoyed this. Later.